Let's get now then to the Western Conference and their playoff matchups. We've got the #1 seeded Houston Rockets, and thanks to that overtime win, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Congratulations
that was
to the
a fun
Minnesota
one.
Timberwolves.
That was a fun
Mind
one.
you, before you get into the Rockets, first time the T-Wolves have been in the playoffs in 14 years.
Before this, the Supersonics had a more recent playoff berth in Minnesota.
I'm
not kidding about that.
Let's start with the Rockets, who, look, this has been the best team in the NBA all season long. A 65-win Rockets team with the MVP on it and a top 5 point guard on the other side. This is a absurdly talented team. This is like a lab test that someone put together and all of a sudden found the cure for cancer. This is a miracle team because we had no idea what was going to happen with the Rockets. They could have been really, really good like they are now, or they could have been a complete disaster and James Harden and Chris Paul could have totally fought and not gotten along like Russell Westbrook, Karl-Anthony, and Paul George. So this Rockets team has really shown in the NBA how much stars matter and how much they can really drive forward. But the guy for the Rockets this year that has really taken the next step for them, it hasn't been James Harden. It hasn't been Chris Paul. It's been Clint Capela, who no one saw this coming. He's led the entire NBA in field goal percentage this year. He has been a monster down low all season long. He's averaging 14 points per game, 11 rebounds. He's been an even better defender than people ever thought he could have been, and now he has a huge matchup with Karl-Anthony Towns, who it might be the most vital match of the entire playoffs, more so than Jimmy Butler versus James Harden, more so than I don't even know who's going to cover Chris Paul and the Timberwolves because they don't have anyone to cover Chris Paul, and that's the issue. But Clint Capela versus Karl-Anthony Towns will define this entire series.
All right, let's talk then about Minnesota. And Karl-Anthony Towns, of course, is the big focal point there, but they need other guys to step up, and getting back Jimmy Butler healthy is a big deal.
It is. This is a team that is better than the 8 seed. They should be a 4 or 5 seed, but they lost Jimmy Butler, the best player on the team, for a while.
And it dropped them, the 2 games that separated them from the 4 seed.
Exactly. There you go. So now they're the 8 seed, but look, Jimmy Butler versus James Harden is going to be another defining part of this series. I think Jimmy Butler, going into a free agency season next year in 2019, he's got to show out in this playoff series. He needs to show that he can stand with the big dogs, the James Hardens and the Chris Pauls of the world, and he can make an impact on the playoff series. Jimmy Butler, in terms of his overall playoff output, has never been a fantastic playoff performer. I think this is his chance to really take a big step in terms of his career and get the money that he's been looking to make. But it will not matter what him or Karl-Anthony Towns do if Andrew Wiggins is the disaster that he has been this year. He has been timid. He doesn't play defense. He doesn't pass the ball. He's lazy on rotations, and he has taken a huge step back of any player. He got paid and stopped caring. And it's really unfortunate because I know this is shenanigans, but he was supposed to be the next LeBron James. You remember that? He was supposed to be the next great all-time NBA player, and he just didn't become that guy. And they need him to step up in a big way this playoff series. If he doesn't, they're going to lose in 4. If he can make a stand, maybe they pull off a huge upset.
All right, Harris, who you got, Rockets or T-Wolves?
I have the Rockets completely sweeping the T-Wolves out of the playoffs.
In an upset, Harris. I am thinking I'm just playing.
Okay, yeah,
Houston wins. Houston wins. I'm just playing.
The Rockets are gonna wipe the floor with the T-Wolves. It's unfortunate because between the T-Wolves and the Rockets, the T-Wolves could not have been matched up with a worse possible team. You match up the T-Wolves with the Warriors, and it's a better matchup for the T-Wolves. But they got matched up with a team that is just gonna launch threes against them. They don't play great perimeter defense. They're gonna be done.